I was gonna do something, and I forget what it was.
Let me talk to you.
Yeah, people. Oh, yeah, because I had. Excuse me. I had a thing where like, so I work a security job, and I am able to have access to the security cameras, and so I don't have access to security cameras in the bathroom, but when I'm in the bathroom and I hear no one wash their hands and then leave, I go into the cameras and go, "Who the fuck was that?" Because I see you come out of the bathroom.
I thought you were gonna say you play Five Nights at Freddy at work.
It's disgusting. Yeah. But no. Oh no, I've never. Although
Okay.
it's not a bad game.
I've never played it.
It's not a bad game.
I mean, I know
it's quite simple.
I know about it. I just haven't played it.
It's essentially like, can you multitask?
Yeah.
They're just going, can you do two things at once? And
there's a movie coming out.
And manage your time? Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailer yet. Oh, so the original reason we started on this rant
about video games.
We were talking about video games.
You had a video game
So
thing.
I'll start. It's probably a better idea. So I found this pro wrestling simulator on Steam, and I put it into my wish list, and I was like, I'll just wait for it to go on sale. So it went on sale, so I bought it. And the whole thing is or not the whole thing, but part of it is I want to play a pro wrestling sim, but I'm also trying to find something that is not quite as in depth as Total Extreme Wrestling. That is super in depth with like all of these different things, and I'm this is a lot.
I just another one, Fire Pro something.
Yeah,
that one's like elaborate, right?
Yeah, and I'm I just want to I don't want to have to worry so much about venues and all this other stuff. I want to be worry more about the booking and stuff. So I was I'll try this game out. It was $10 I think when it was on sale.
$10.
So I wanted to tell you this because I thought it was hilarious.
Okay.
When you go to start a new, so unlike Total Extreme Wrestling, this one's only single player.
Okay.
And I go to start a new game, and it's okay, put in your booker name, choose what company you want to be, and then it has these options that you can start off with. So one of the options is called level playing field, which decreases and sets everybody's starting money to be the same across all the companies.
Okay.
And the other option is called amnesia mode. And so I'm interesting. So I go to read the explanation. Amnesia mode is everyone has forgotten everything and everybody is a free agent, and now it's a race to try to go and hire whatever workers you want and do whatever you want. But it's instead of blank slate or something, they called it amnesia mode, which I just found absolutely hilarious.
Because of my whole stint back in 2017 where I forgot everything.
Yes. And so then I went in, and it's funny sometimes. So I've been messing around. I was I'll just try it just to see kind of what's up with this amnesia mode thing. After I downloaded a real world mod, of course.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was I'll play around, and it's funny because I was I'll offer this guy something, and they were accepted your offer. Offer this guy, accept your offer. I'm cool. And then I go to get John Moxley. It's Impact has made a counter offer, and so then you have to offer him more.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was all right, I'll do it again. And then it was WWE has offered has counter offered. I'm you son of a bitch.
You should have offered him all the blades he needs.
I should have.
You should have been I'm going to give you time off when you need it for once, and I'm going to give you as many blades as possibly needed, and you can bleed whenever you want, and just do whatever. Oh, he's bleeding now.
Yep. It was, so yeah, I did not get, anyway, in the end, I ended up being bleh, and I let Impact get John Moxley. I think that's who got John Moxley. But it was,
who's your top star?
Right now?
Yeah.
What, singles?
Yeah, whatever. Just who's your top star? Who's your favorite?
Who's my favorite?
Who are you proud of?
I'm proud that I got Gunther.
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, my tag division is boss. I got the Young Bucks, Motor City Machine Guns, FTR, the Acclaimed.
Wow.
I was my tag division is, and my women's division is busting. I got Bailey.
I think it's bussin'.
Bussin'?
Yeah.
Oh, it's bussin'. I got Bailey. So. Who else? I got
Charlotte Flair, Becky Lynch,
no,
Monet.
Fuck that. I got I think Bailey's the only 4 horsewoman because I tried to get Becky and I got outbid.
Of course. course. Who doesn't want the man?
Bailey, Britt Baker, Chris Statlander.
You goddamn right.
Io Shirai.
Nice.
So
She's really good.
I got a good women's division starting.
So
anyway,
yeah, we didn't really have a cold open for you, but so
well, yeah, the only idea I had for a cold open was to say, bold prediction, Cotton. WrestleMania 41 is coming to London.
You think so?
Yeah. Did you watch Money in the Bank?
I watched bits and pieces of it.
Okay, so John Cena came out.
Yeah.
And his whole promo shtick was literally like, London fans are awesome. We should do WrestleMania in London. That was his whole shtick. And I was like, gee, do we think that this year...
And Grayson Waller was like, I'm going to come out and I'm Australian. He is a shoey.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was like, why would we want a stupid WrestleMania here? Let's do WrestleMania Australia. And then I was like, what a missed marketing opportunity. Like, why would you call it WrestleMania Australia? Like, why wouldn't you call it WrestleMania Down Under?
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be
But I guess he can't give a cool name because he's supposed to be a heel.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Give him some time. Let him cook.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a podcast all about wrestling. In this corner, head author and a black belt, Kibbles.
Kibbles? What kind of name is that?
Pookie the Wolf is the best.
I forgot my car keys. And in this corner, Pookie the Wolf.
Pookie the Wolf is one of the best.
Welcome to the Kibbles and Pookie's Squared Circle.
So I have some issues with wrestling games.
You do? I don't want to hear about this. I really do.
Listen, I'll give a legitimate review about the game. I did stream it a couple days ago.
I watched you stream
the day
it
it came out
for a bit.
So yeah, it feels unfinished. It's hard to say that considering that it was unfinished for a while.
It's interesting you chose that word because I feel like most people that I read any reviews about, they're like, yeah, it's cool, but it feels very unfinished.
It feels very unfinished. It feels very much like, it feels solely like a, just a party game. Like it was like Mario Party Fight Forever. Because
I was wondering about those mini games because like all of a sudden out of nowhere they were like mini games and I was like,
but even normal fights are fun. Like even the normal fights with 4 people are fun. Like I feel like having the game and just being one person to play it, I don't get that much out of it. I think the Road to Elite is one of the worst things about the game, which is the one thing I was most excited for, and I'm still playing it to see what I can do. Like for example, like you start off in the Casino Battle Royale, and I failed it the first time and just kept on moving through. And then I got to the end of the first playthrough of it, and for some reason I fought like evil me. Sorry, spoilers. You fight evil whoever you are.
Evil you?
Yeah, whoever you are, you fight the evil version of you, which is just all black with red eyes in a fake in a smoky ring. And I'm like, and this is the problem. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, what am I doing all of a sudden? I'm just fighting me. And by the way, crushed me because I've been crushing everybody, and I'm on like normal difficulty. I'm thinking about going to the problem I have with a lot of the things that don't make sense are the computers have such an upper hand on you when it comes to hardcore stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to hit them with something, like it'll somehow not register, and then they'll just grab the weapon from you or knock you down, then grab the weapon. And I'll sit there and try to hit somebody. Like, for example, like someone went outside the ring, like lights out.
Mm-hmm.
They go grab a weapon, and as you come in, you expect to like, oh, I'm going to hit him before they get it. It doesn't register, and then they just hit you with the table like you look like an idiot. And I'm like, this is just so fucking...
in the ring.
And then like Darby Allin, I was like, okay, well, in the rankings of the normal fighting, I'm just going to win the TNT title. So I had to win it from Darby Allin. I was like, oh, let's do a lights out. It was no fun because all he did was beat me with weapons and then pin me. And I'm like, this is so fucked. Like
that
the
sounds
fact
like
that
Darby Allin.
it so does sound like him just picking up a sledgehammer and beating the fuck out of me with it. And it's like
that's Cody's weapon.
It's just it's so flawed, and it's not. I don't think that's that's that big of an issue. It just annoyed the hell out of me. The one thing I noticed, my biggest gripe is the and I have a small gripe that's very small, but I just feel like it should have been there. There was this morning before I got here.
Mm-hmm.
I have the second playthrough. I beat the Casino Battle Royale because I would back out and restart it until I won it, and I won it eventually. I had 11 knockouts, 11 ring eliminations. For some reason, Nick Jackson's always like the last guy whenever I play it. And by the way, just a heads up, I know it seems really cool because you go, oh, you take a random card. Guess what? You always get 2. So you're always the first one in there. They make sure of it. I've tried it multiple times, and no matter what card I pick, when they say pick a card, it's always 2. So don't fucking make me pick at all. Just tell me that I go in at 2. That's so fucking stupid.
That's interesting.
I've tried it multiple times, and it'll be a different suit, but it'll still fucking be 2, no matter where I'm at on the thing. Because they're like, oh, well, we don't want the person just sitting there and waiting. Well, just don't fucking have me pick if it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
It's
or you
so
could
fucking
skip,
stupid.
Yeah, or you could skip further into that. Yeah.
Just fucking start off and go, like, have a little cutscene of a guy going, oh, I picked the 2. Great. Don't like, they literally had you, like, they're like, pick a card. And I'm like, I picked it. And then it was just like, you're 2. I'm like, I've done this multiple times. I'm always fucking 2. Fuck you. Won the title from Jericho in the first thing. How many is
multiple? Like 5, 6?
I did it. So I did it the first time, failed when I did the live stream. And then I went on to fight, what's his face? Dustin. And that was terrible. That was a terrible storyline. And then...
Just like the real AEW.
I want to say I did it 3 times. It might have been 3 times.
Okay.
Excuse me. Because there's one point where I got super kicked right out of the thing by, I think, Nick. Or no, maybe it was Matt. I don't know.
The younger one. If you restart that match, do they make you pick a card again, or is it you just stick with that same card? This is the thing. You can't necessarily... Like, I went to go do it. Mm-hmm. It's the first match you do. Yep. So I literally just started a new thing. Okay.
So it's like, oh, I'll just try it again and just keep doing that until I win it because I want to see what happens if I get there. You get a title shot against Jericho. You know, whatever.
Jericho whips your ass?
No. I fucking... See, this is the thing. I did Big Bang Theory as my finisher.
Mm-hmm.
So the joke was that you can go right into a pin, and he just sits there and looks like he's just spreading the guy's butthole. So I was just doing that over and over again. And I was like, now we're about to, like, whoever I was fighting,
like
say I was like Scorpio Sky. I'd be like, here we go, Scorpio. You're going to show everyone your butthole. And I'd, pile drive them and then spread their butt cheeks.
Just like real life.
Just like real life. By the way, Chris Statler stopped doing it that way, probably because of that reason.
Probably. Because
it's not as, like, flattering as Rhea Ripley's pin. It's like their just butthole was out.
Yeah.
Like their ass is up in the air.
It's not like Rhea Ripley.
Because she, like, presses on them and, like, folds them up like a chair. She's, like, holding the 2 thighs as their butthole was just out in the open. Like, if they farted, she'd be like, oh, I got a whole whiff of that. So anyway, jokes aside.
That was real bad.
Jokes aside, there was, so, like, I was so excited to be like, okay, I played through the one without getting any titles.
Mm-hmm.
Because I failed at the end of the first one because I was the last match they have you fight Kenny Omega, Jon Moxley, and Chris Jericho, and the winner gets the title, and that's the last match of till like you finish it. Went to go. I was destroying all of them, and then somehow Jericho decided because momentum, like Kenny and John were both hurt, and then finally Chris Jericho and me were the both people that had stuff set up, and he decides to put the Walls of Jericho on me. And of course, Kenny Omega's like, well, Jon Moxley's here and passed out. Let me pin this guy. And I'm like, you fucking idiot, Jericho. Now he's going to fucking win. And he did nothing for it. So
Kenny Omega's the smartest man in professional wrestling. You heard it here first.
I assume that Jon Moxley would have did the same thing. But it was the fact that literally as I was trying to finish the match, Jericho was just like, I'm going to put the Walls of Jericho on you. That's okay. I'm like, no, that's not. And then literally as he's like turning the corner, Omega went to go pin him. I'm like, you fucking idiot. And I can't break out of this. There's no rope breaks. There's like this fucking stupid ass.
This sounds exactly like what would happen if you were in a Fatal 4-Way with actual people playing the game.
Yeah.
You'd get up and you'd be like, fuck this. I'm going to go pin this guy.
Yeah. And then so like, that's the first part of my grapes, okay? So it got progressively...
Like if you, me, Chucky, and Brandon were playing, it'd be like, one of us would be in a submission, Brandon would be like, I'll go pin this guy.
I'm going to pin this guy because you're stuck in this.
That's exactly what Brandon would do too.
So there is... I mean, to be fair, that's what Orange Cassidy did at Forbidden Door anyway.
That's also true.
Whatchamacallit, kicked him with the PK, and then he threw him out of the ring.
He was like a heel.
So yeah, we'll talk about Forbidden Door and Money in the Bank, but it gets worse. So I finished that and was like, I failed, and then you start a new one, and you have to redo your stats. So I was like, what the fuck's the point of doing my stats if you're just going to have me redo them anyway? So then
you do your stats for Road to the Elite, and then
it means nothing.
when you restart, you redo them again. Because it's a brand new story with a brand new
finishers.
Oh.
So it's like if you had set up finishers, it's like, oh, they're still there, but you have to unlock them first. It's like, what? So anyway, and then another problem I had was that with the Road to the Elite, they try to tell you about storylines or famous moments, and I don't give a shit. Like, I didn't give a shit. They were like trying to set up they were like, this is the thing. They do the whole MJF Jericho thing and then try to shoehorn you into the story. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck. And they're like, you got to pick either Moxley, or you have to pick either MJF or pick me. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about either of you. I was like, I don't want to pick. How do I pick neither? How do I step away from the situation?
So, like, if you're going to be in the Pinnacle or the Inner Circle.
Yeah, and that's not even like, I mean, it's not even a thing, but you have to, like, take someone's side. And I'm like, I really don't care. And then they end up fighting him in a triple threat anyway. So then it gets even worse because I got the title this time around. That was in the first playthrough. Second playthrough, I had the title.
Yep.
I have not been coming out with the title. It doesn't address that I had the title. When I go into stats, it says, you have the title. I'm like, but why am I not shown having the title? And then I did one story to go into All Out.
Like a glitch.
I doubt that very much.
Or, not a glitch. Sorry, glitch might not isn't the right word. A fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, I wonder if, like, everybody else is having that same issue. Like, it's a bug.
Maybe.
Bug. That's the word I'm looking for.
But so, this is the biggest problem I had today, and that's what got me to get pissed off and be like, you know what, this game kind of sucks, was the fact that I got in a storyline where, who was it that attacked me? Oh, MJF and Wardlow just attack you for no reason. And then Ray Fenix comes out, helps you out. And then he's like, hey, we're considering you to join Death Triangle. By the way, redundant, because they're Death Triangle. That would mean there were 3 people, and I'd be the 4th. Doesn't make any sense. We're not going to be Death Square. Anyway.
What about Death Rectangle?
Death Rectangle sounds great. Rectangle is actually pretty cool.
I was going to say, that sounds pretty good, actually.
That is the name of the episode, Death Rectangle.
Death Rectangle. Better than Death Square.
So tell me how this makes any sense. They build you up to go, we might have you join us. And I'm like, is this going to take me to, like, tag team stuff?
That'd be cool.
And they're like, so get to pick your partner for a tag team match. And we fought the Rhodes brothers. Beat the shit out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Penta picked up the win. And then Ray Fenix and Pac come out and beat the shit out of the Rhodes brothers. I don't address my...
You're a heel.
Well, I don't address my issue with it. But then the next night they go, all right, we are considering this guy for membership in the Death Rectangle. And he goes, let's get him out here. I get to the top of the thing, and they're like, all right, so are you with us or not? And I say, absolutely, I'll do it. I'm like, yes. Somehow that was still a no. And they go, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I skipped through it, most of it, because it didn't make any fucking sense. And then they're like, so you're obviously against us. I'm like, wait, how did we get there? I said yes. And they're like, yeah, now we're going to fight you. And I'm like, okay. So I obviously can't fight all of them. So at the All Out pay-per-view, it wasn't for my title or anything, because, again, they don't address I have the title anymore. The storyline just completely ignores that. It just goes right into, you're going to fight Pac. And then we're going to have Ray Fenix and Penta come out randomly and just interrupt the match. And not, like, come out, run out, hit you a couple times and leave. They stay through. It's a handicap match. It's essentially a handicap match. Aubrey sees it happening blatantly and doesn't do a fucking thing about it. I'm like, bitch, there's 2 people who just came to the ring and are beating the shit. By the way, I was beating the fuck out of all 3 of them at one point. And then randomly, Pac just puts a submission in, and then I just tap out for no reason. And I'm like, what the fuck is this shit?
So...
like, no cutscene or anything to show, like, oh, they came out and interfered, and then I lost. I would have rather a cutscene where Penta and Ray Fenix screwed me over in a match. So at least it wasn't like, I was beating the shit out of all 3 of you, and somehow you picked up a victory.
Do you think it was like a
set event?
Because you said they came out later, so maybe it was a 3-on-1 handicap match, but Royal Rumble style. So on set intervals, somebody would join the match.
Maybe, yeah. Because it makes sense.
They just didn't explain the rules to you.
Especially when the title card comes, it says All Out, and it's like Pac versus Pookie the Wolf, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, this makes sense. Why
okay.
it doesn't make any sense, does it?
Well, maybe they just didn't explain the rules well enough. Just like this blind eliminator tournament that all of a sudden I now know what the rules are.
Hey, and we're into normal wrestling now.
I've been like, what is a blind eliminator tournament? Does that mean they don't know who they're facing? And they're like, nope, they don't know who their partner is.
I like the concept of, this is a tag team division, but we need to shake things up a little bit, so let's do this.
Yeah.
It's kind of
It's very weird. Not a fan.
Which one do you talk about first? You want to talk about AEW or WWE?
I
feel like WWE would
WWE, I guess.
Yeah, I feel like that would take less time.
Dam-
I watched all who won everything.
Okay.
Like,
Damian Priest is Mr. Money in the Bank.
And
Io Sky.
What were you about to say?
Io Shirai.
Okay. I like her. She's nice. She's
fucking stupid.
What?
The name.
Yeah.
Io Sky, Genius of the Sky. What?
Yeah.
The fuck didn't you just leave her name Shirai?
Because Sky and Sky rhymes.
God damn it.
You rhyme orange with orange.
God damn it.
So I have a question, and it might be just because I'm curious and because I love her. Did Beth Phoenix? Did you'll see why I got that confused. Was Becky Lynch dressed as Jean Grey?
That was my guess.
Right? That's what it looked like. I was like, it was a Jean Grey Phoenix type deal because it made sense with the hair and everything.
That's what I think.
That's pretty badass.
And I'll be honest, it took me about half the match to like suddenly be like, Jean Grey, that's what it is. I legit was like, okay, she's just in an outfit.
I watched bits and pieces, and till I saw the recap and they showed the entrances, I was like, oh shit, is that Jean Grey? Like the Phoenix thing?
Yeah. Cool outfit.
And I don't think people would notice it because it's the green and yellow and not the red and yellow.
Yeah.
So it was really cool.
So one thing I will say about the women's Money in the Bank match, super fucking creative ending.
Yeah.
That was really cool. Like I was like, oh look, when they pulled out the handcuffs, I was like, okay, and then it looked like they were going to handcuff her to the turnbuckle. I was like, okay, I can like this spot is clearly going to be she unhooks the turnbuckle and then stops Trish when Trish is climbing the ladder. But they didn't go that route. And then it stayed on her until the end when she handcuffed her to Bailey further down on the ladder, so neither of them could get the briefcase, which was a really fucking unique, cool ending.
The thing I liked was the fact that I completely lost my train of thought when you just said that. Oh, the thing I liked was that, and I'm pretty sure it didn't happen that way. Becky didn't really actually put the handcuffs in her mouth, did she? Because it didn't look like they were actually. It looked like Bailey was putting her hand over her mouth, so it looked like that.
She did, and then when she started pulling her down the ladder, it popped out.
That's what I mean.
When
like
Bailey grabbed it.
Yeah, it didn't look like it was like happening at first.
Yeah, no, at the top when she initially did it.
Yeah,
it was.
I meant like when,
and then it popped out, and that's when Bailey grabbed
it. That's
what
I meant. Like when she was pulling down, I was like, it didn't. When I was looking at it, I was like, that doesn't look like. It's,
No, like I remember sitting there watching, and I was like, "Oh, it just popped out. Oh, there's Bailey grabbing it."
Yeah, but yeah, it was. I mean, everything was kind of great. The only thing I didn't see like live, I guess live or in the moment was the John Cena thing.
Yep,
and Grayson Waller. A little disappointed by. I thought LA Knight was going to take it, but still helps. I think it's very.
I wondered if that choice was because... So I wondered if the choice was because LA Knight is, like, over. So they're like, okay, we're not going to give it to him because he's already getting over and we don't need him to...
Yeah.
He doesn't, like, quote-unquote need it to try to get over.
Compelling. That's what I was thinking of. It's very compelling to have Damian Priest win because then you have Finn Balor and him kind of having issues now.
Also, holy shit, I hope Ricochet and Logan Paul are okay.
I mean, Ricochet, I hope.
That looked fucking nasty.
Didn't he have like a cut on his shoulder?
Maybe.
He had like, I remember Logan Paul had like blood all over his shoulder by the end of the match. I saw that at least.
All I know is they were standing there and I was like, what are they trying to do? And then Ricochet just grabs him and just does it.
Yeah.
He just goes for it. And that was not a nice landing.
Yeah.
That was dangerous as fuck.
Hell yeah. Not WWE at all.
Yeah, it wasn't.
That was probably the two. I mean, those two matches were probably. See, that's the thing. I think the concept of like there's more. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I have such like I don't really have as much fun watching them. It's because they don't really kind of take risks. Like there's never that moment of like people just taking caution to the wind, and just going fuck it, I'm gonna just do this thing.
Yeah, they were pretty tame in terms of. I mean, there were cool spots. There were definitely dangerous spots, but
Yeah, I mean that was the thing. Where it's like
in general, they were both pretty tame.
yeah, I mean I don't want anything crazy like something Penta or like the Lucha Brothers would do, like with the
There's a line.
There's
a line
there's
there.
a part where you take like I don't even think WWE does that. There was like there's the WWE line, and then there's AW's like pushed a little bit farther, and then there's the okay gone too far kind of thing. And I feel like AEW keeps me entertained because of the fact they're like, well, you don't know what's gonna happen. They could just fucking take caution to the wind, and you know, even with the media scrum for Forbidden Door about Daniel Bryan talking about like, you know, safety should come first, and you don't want people doing stuff that's gonna be reckless. But you know, if they feel comfortable, and you know, the doctors take good care of us, so. I like that concept of like, yeah, we're going to do some crazy shit sometimes, but we're not going to go too crazy with it all the time.
Yeah.
And make sure people are in a safe environment, which I like.
Yeah. Well, that came up on, I forget what podcast I was listening to, and they were saying like the reason why matches, especially AEW, matches have become so much riskier and you can do so much more and stuff is because they are not on the road wrestling. Most of them are not on the road wrestling like 3 to 4 days a week like it used to be. So they're able to take these bigger risks and have longer times to heal their body.
What's Roman's excuse?
He is.
Well, I mean, technically they do house shows, don't they?
Yes.
Never mind. That joke kind of just makes me look like an asshole.
Roman is doing. Roman is making the most of his ability as the company has made him a star.
Do you think
like his like if you were to look back, like his matches aren't phenomenal. He doesn't take all these crazy risks and do all these crazy moves and all this other stuff, but his matches are intriguing and you're like interested in like every second of it.
Yeah, but my point is like, and I have a counterpoint to my own point, is that he's barely on TV wrestling. But then I'm he's always doing house shows. But if I went to a house show and found out that Roman Reigns was going to fight, I don't know, fucking Drew McIntyre or one of them, I'd be like, well, obviously, like it was like it's Drew McIntyre versus Roman Reigns for the undisputed title. I'm like, well, Roman Reigns is going to win because it's a fucking house show. Like, why the fuck? Like, I get that, like, oh, he's still wrestling, great, but like, the only fun part about that is like he can be silly because he's not on camera. Like some of the stuff you see from like house shows, like Roman P sitting down or him starting to fight with that little kid, or you know, just stuff in general, like silly stuff.
Yeah,
I just wish he was on TV wrestling more, because that's my issue. It just makes it seem like he just walks around with his titles. And I'm like, what the fuck does he do?
I feel like he's gonna be on TV a little bit more often now that the bloodline is kind of like imploding and exploding. So there's not like, oh, Roman's not here, but the Usos and Solo Sikoa are here talking about bloodline things, so he's there. I don't know that I agree with the point of having him wrestle more, because I've always been fond of the idea of a champion that doesn't wrestle consistently every week. Could he do a little bit more? Yeah, but I'm also not
just
a big,
little
like,
bit more.
The world champion should be wrestling every week. I'm not. I actually don't like that.
I'm not asking for much. I'm asking for like occasional have a match here and there.
Yeah,
you know, maybe like once out of the month. I don't care. Like, and not have it a pay per view. Like, just have him fight somebody.
Yeah,
even if he fucking squashes people, I don't give a shit.
I got you. Speaking of which, the Bloodline had their Civil War.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about
tag team match. Great match.
Very compelling in the story.
Very compelling.
Very compelling. Very.
I like. I like when the Usos had the upper hand towards the beginning, and Roman Reigns is like, nah, come over here. We're gonna like, and Corey Graves is like, oh, they're gonna strategize here, and the camera goes over. Solo Sikoa is there, Reigns is there, and Heyman's there, and there's no strategy being talked. Nothing. It is Paul Heyman looks at him and he goes, do you know what's happening right now? You need to beat them because Jey Uso wants to be the head of the table. Do you want your boys to eat with him at the head of the table? And I'm dying laughing because it sounds so ridiculous,
Yeah.
but it's perfect for the story. But it sounds ridiculous.
I like
And,
the
yeah.
low blow.
I didn't even know that happened.
You know what? The thing with me is, and
When it happened the first time, I was like, or when he first kicked out, I didn't, because the camera didn't switch. The camera stayed in that one angle, and I was like, ah. And then all of a sudden, like, they looked at Solo, and then they went back to Reigns, and Reigns is like holding his groin. I'm like,
yeah.
did he get low blowed?
When he went up, I saw that, and I was like, that looked like he just low blowed him. And I knew, like,
I didn't notice the up.
In my head, I was like, I saw that and was like, maybe it was just like he had to kick up somehow, and he just did.
I thought it was an accident.
But then I remembered, it was like, I do remember something about that with the two of them back when they fought, and I'm like, I couldn't remember if that was a thing or not. Like, I've seen it before.
Yeah, I thought it was an accident at first, and then they showed the replay, and I was like, oh yeah, that was not an accident.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Yeah, a guy getting hit in the nuts, that's hilarious.
That's hilarious.
Give him the award right now.
Yep.
This is in America's funniest home videos.
And then main event Jey Uso pinning Roman Reigns first time.
They were waiting a while. I thought they were going to do
December 2019.
2019, yeah. They said something 2019. I don't remember the date exactly, but it's been what, 3
first
years?
Time he's been pinned.
No, 4 years. I guess it would be technically 3 years.
Yeah, yeah,
because it's
like 3.5 years.
Yeah, something like that.
But yeah, he has not been pinned or submitted.
Shoulders on the mat.
Shoulders were on the mat.
I thought for some reason it was taking so long. I was like, is Damian Priest gonna come out? I was like, that was silly though. I was like, that would be stupid. But
yeah, I mean, there was part of me that was like, oh, the Usos won. That's cool. And then I was like, Damian Priest, you coming? No. Okay.
We done here? Are we leave? Are we shutting down? Are we saying goodbye? Are we just signing off?
I feel like if somebody was gonna cash in on Reigns and do that, I feel like Damian Priest isn't the right person. Like, it would have had to have been LA Knight because the place would have went fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
I feel like Priest is that weird, like, he's a heel, but we're gonna cheer him because he's doing it on Reigns. Like, I feel like it would have to really be like a super over face.
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that he's moving up. He seems like he's getting bigger.
Yeah. So I guess we'll see. Somebody's going to challenge Roman Reigns. I wondered if there was part of me that wondered if I was like, oh, here's the Solo Sikoa, like, not turn on Reigns, but the start of
mistake.
No, see, I thought because they did the spear thumb thing, spike.
Samoan spike thing.
And Reigns went for the cover, and then when he kicked out, and Reigns just like was in the corner and was like, I don't know what to do. Mm-hmm. Like, he kept saying that. And Sikoa was the one who was like, no, let's fucking go, and start beating on him. And then that's like what snapped Reigns out of it. And there's part of me that was like, I wonder if that's like going to turn into a thing where like Reigns is the one who got pinned. Reigns is the one who was like, I don't know what to do. And Sikoa is like going to like in the next week or two, like turn on him.
I mean, that would be cool. I would love to just see, not like a bloodline, but just the three of them, the three brothers.
Yeah. I wonder if, I also wonder if since Jay pinned him, if we'll get a Jay Reigns championship match.
Maybe. That'd be interesting.
Because he's the first guy to pin Roman Reigns in 3.5 years. So, like, logically, he should get a world championship match.
That is true.
I don't know that they make it. I don't know if they make it the SummerSlam match or if it's just like.
I feel like
maybe
they would make it SummerSlam match.
Okay, I was gonna say otherwise.
Like they would. I could be.
I mean, it makes sense. Otherwise, I could see it being like on SmackDown this week. They announce it for next week. I could see that too. I don't know. It's been a really fun story. Actually,
yeah,
I've really been enjoying it. Everything they've done this year.
The thing is like nothing really happens throughout the weeks, and then the pay-per-view kind of like culminates into this big thing, where it's like, hey, this is the thing, or hey, this is where it's gonna all come to a head, where it's just like something will be involved with something will happen that is meaningful then, and then we'll milk that for another month or so. So
anyway,
yeah, I mean it's really. I don't know. You know how I feel about
I'm looking
WWE.
at it, and I feel like it's been a great story. The whole, like, I don't know about, like, before this year, there was just like a lot of build up, and like now we're at the point where like everything is kind of happening, so it feels really exciting and fresh and cool.
Yeah.
Like the Rumble, like January was Sammy turning on him, February was the Sammy match, March was the championship match for Cody Rhodes and the tag title. Then it went to the Usos trying to regain the titles, but they can't. So then Reigns is in the match, and that's when the Usos turn on them, and Jay with the and like since one of them turns, then the other one gets his moment to kind of shine. Like I liked that, where it was like, you need to, like, I wanted you to be the next head of the table, blah blah blah, and then his whole like, you're out and I'm out too, and then he kicks.
That was a good moment.
And this tag match, and so like I'm like this whole year has been like nonstop, really awesome storytelling, even from a week to week basis with the Bloodline.
It feels like, and not to discredit it, but it does feel like some weeks are filler, or they're like,
absolutely.
they're just like side eyeing each other, like, what do we do next? Like,
Absolutely,
we don't know
yeah.
yet.
I wouldn't say that every single week they do something crazy to move the story forward, but I would say overall,
yeah. Well, in
the last like 6 months,
the
has
fact
been
that
awesome.
you said the SmackDown, him kicking him,
Yeah,
that was very cool for a normal.
yeah, and there was
Thursday,
like, there was
Friday.
like the stuff where like Sammy was trying to get him to be like turn on Reigns.
Yeah.
There was a couple weeks definitely where like it was like nothing really happened. There were definitely a couple weeks where there was like intriguing things happening with that as well. I would say overall as a whole, the last 6 months has been fucking awesome storytelling for that. As for the rest of WWE,
Meh.
it
What'd you think about Gunther and Riddle?
was a good match. It was
weird.
it was what I expected. I mean, I liked that they played up. I really liked that they played up an injury that he had. That the injury played into the finish of the match. I liked that the injury was taken into account during the match. So, like, yes, he had the moments where he was kind of running and moving and everything was fine, but like he did also, like, when he went to do the backdrop or whatever and he flipped out, landed, and he was like, I hurt my foot, and then just got clotheslined.
My toe.
I feel like normally they would flip, go, my leg, and then still hit the other guy anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas like I felt like it was good psychology, and I liked the fact that he was like, my leg, and that allowed Gunther to attack.
It was very much it made Gunther look, the whole ring general thing.
Yeah.
It does help that. And then
I liked it.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't bad. I'm not a huge fan of either of them, but it was not a bad, as far as like telling a story in the ring.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Yeah, I think sometimes it's also like you're trying to find the right opponent for Gunther, because he just went through all that stuff with Sheamus, where those matches were fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I think Drew McIntyre is probably the best person to put him next with, but at the same time, I'm also like, I'm kind of tired of watching Gunther fight Drew McIntyre and Sheamus.
I like the fact that like they acknowledged the weird thing about it, where like Michael Cole had to go, excuse me, there's no more rumors about Drew McIntyre not being in WWE. He's here. And it's just like,
yeah.
But he could have left. I mean, it's weird that you guys would say that in general.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, it is weird that they would bring that up.
I don't know. But I think that's everything. I didn't really acknowledge the Cody Rhodes Dom thing.
I didn't even watch it.
Yeah, neither did I.
I watched Cody's entrance. That was it.
I find Cody Rhodes so boring.
Because I wanted to hear everybody go, whoa.
Just find him so boring. Not a very fun person to watch. Even in AEW, I didn't feel like he was a fun person to watch.
I liked him in AEW when he had his teeth kind of sunk into a really good rivalry. Like I found him and Jericho for the world title was really good. I found that him and I actually liked what they were starting to do with him and Malachi, and then they kind of just like chickened out and didn't do it. Maybe I don't know if it's because Cody doesn't want to be a heel or something, but when Malachi first came in, and like I felt like that was a story that could have gone in a really unique direction, and it was at first, and then they just kind of like pumped the brakes hard.
I just find it so, and it's like weird too, because like the similarities to like Homelander or like John Cena, it's just like I can't be the bad guy. I can't. I'm the golden boy. And I'm like, but you're still not allowed. Like, it's weird. It's like he wants to be the top like face, but then he won't win the main title.
Right. Well, yeah.
Like even AEW,
that was the weird.
Like, I'll take the TBS title. Blah blah blah.
Well, that was the weird thing with AEW was I felt like he was trying to make a point, because when he first fought Jericho, and it was like, if you win, I won't challenge for the world championship because I'm a EVP. Personally, when that happened, I said, okay, Cody's losing, and we'll leave Cody as a face for a while, and then when Cody turns heel, he'll go for the championship again, and he'll be like, well, Jericho's not the champion, and in the contract it said that as long as Jericho's the champ, you know what I mean? Like, so, I was like, that could have been such a good heel move for him. And if he wanted to stay face, I don't understand why the play wasn't. I can understand doing the TNT title when it first came out and everything, and that was like cool when he was facing different people every week. But like, if he wanted to stay face, in my opinion, he should have gone and tag teamed with his brother and gone after the tag titles.
Yeah.
And done tag rivalries, because the two of them together would have been super over, and they would have been in with FTR and the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers and Acclaimed. Like, they would have easily not, like, he could have easily done that, and he would have stayed a really good
Hangman and Omega.
Yeah, he would have stayed a face, because I think as long as those two are together, the audience is going to love that they're the brothers together and they're going to be face.
Yeah. Oh, another thing, I'm waiting for, and I don't think it's ever going to happen, but you go from city to city in the AEW game, and you never hit North Carolina.
Well, that's a shame.
I'm really upset by that. I was like, I just wanted to say it once. And did you know that our state's delicacy is cheesesteaks?
I did know that.
Okay.
I mean, I would have guessed, I should say.
Pittsburgh had one, and I forget what it was. Probably something stupid. Not to like discredit them, but maybe it was just cheeseburgers. I don't remember. It was just a hunk of sheet steel.
Hunk of sheet.
Yeah, like steel, like just a plate of steel. You just start chewing down on it.
Chowing down on that steel.
So before I left, I did. They had like a troubled, I think it was called Troubled Relationship. It asked me to pick someone, and I'm like, is this like a tag team thing? So I picked someone, and I think it's like a relationship. So I'm in a relationship with Adam Cole, I think. Because I haven't seen him at all in the campaign, and I'm like,
Bebe.
Where's Adam Cole? He's my Bebe now.
He's your Bebe now.
But yeah, so I wanted to say something about Rampage that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
I think, and it's... I'm going to put it out now, and I doubt it's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But Taya Valkyrie joining the Outcasts is probably the best move to make right now. She is losing all the time.
That makes sense.
She is not originally from here, not from AEW. Just came here.
Mm-hmm.
She could pick up wins by cheating with her girls.
Mm-hmm.
It just seems like such a good idea to do, because of the fact that she lost to Sheeta on Friday, which I thought for sure she was going to beat Sheeta by cheating in some way.
Mm-hmm.
But Sheeta still beat her somehow. I'm like, what?
Sheeta is the best, baby.
That's not even the right person.
Oh, you're right.
So I just feel like that would be the best idea to go with. And then, I don't know how everyone's doing as far as condition-wise, but fucking, you're doing Blood and Guts in August. Do it with the women's too. You got the ring already set up. Just fucking do it.
Maybe they will.
I hope they do. And then you could have Taya Valkyrie and add someone else in there, like
So I guess Blood and Guts.
Sky Blue. No, not Sky, Blue.
I guess
Athena.
I guess Blood and Guts is only going to be 4 people this time instead of normally they do 5. But
they could do 4 people then.
But Daniel Bryan is clearly not wrestling in Blood
You
and Guts.
don't think he'll be back by August?
No. Isn't
Didn't
Blood
they-
and Guts in July?
No, I think they said August something.
I thought they said like July, like 17th.
I'll look it up. You go ahead and talk about it.
Well, so here's why. They originally they were like, yeah, Daniel Bryan will be out like 8 weeks,
Yeah.
and I was like, okay. And now they're looking at it and they're like, oh no, this dude fucked up his arm. Like
Hell
it is
yeah.
completely broken.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you saw the.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
The
July
X-ray?
16th.
I don't know if you
Why
saw
did
the
I think it was
X-ray,
August.
but it was fucked.
Am I stupid?
Yes,
You're probably right.
probably.
In
right.
Boston. Fucking Boston.
Boston, Massachusetts.
July 16th. July 19th. What did I say 16th? I'm fucking
Also, this is
stupid.
going to be like the second time that they're coming around this area, and they're not coming to Philly.
Oh, I forgot my smallest gripe about AEW's
Yep.
Fight Forever. Create a character, all the moves in there, there's a shitload of moves of people who aren't even in the game. No fucking Stormbreaker. Missed fucking opportunity to put fucking
Really?
Will Ospreay's Stormbreaker in there. I wanted that so bad. I was like, fuck it, I'll go with Big Bang Theory. I was hoping to just see Stormbreaker at the end there. But no. Missed fucking opportunity. They have you could do like the Cody cutter, which is essentially the Ospreay cutter. It's the same thing. You could have that.
Mhm.
Excuse me. The hook kick, all the different shit he does. No fucking Cody, or no fucking Stormbreaker.
Trying to find. I'm never going to find it.
That's fine. I just hate also the fact that they have so many people. They have Private Party. They have the Butcher and the Blade song. They have the Wingmen. They have Peter Avalon's theme. They don't like. You could put the music in, but you couldn't fucking put the people in. You know how many times I would just squash Peter Avalon over and over again for the
Yeah.
fun of it?
A lot.
Yeah, no, I saw this.
Yeah,
The
where it's
picture of
broken.
his.
Yeah, he wrestled 10 minutes with that break. Yeah, I don't
I
think
mean-
that break. I don't think that break is
Ew.
being fixed in.
It's like-
Like I think that's like a 16. He's out for like 4
Was that
months.
a goat kissing somebody? And
Yeah,
also
the goat
Daniel
kissing.
Bryan was there. I do not like the Breeze. I've
It's-
I've explained my hatred for the Breeze. I don't care who's married to him.
Why? She's hot.
Breeze. I said the Breeze. The Bellas. It doesn't matter if she's hot. You can't just give people a pass because they're hot. That's stupid.
No, you're right.
Somehow it did more for Paris Hilton to have sex on camera than it did to hurt her.
That's society.
You know why? Because she's not hot, but
She's a slut.
that's hot. It was her catchphrase, remember?
Oh,
She was also a wrestler for some reason.
I
She had
don't
a
remember
catchphrase. You don't remember her? That's hot.
I don't.
You don't remember Paris Hilton always saying that's hot?
No,
That was like a catchphrase.
I must have blocked it from my memory.
Yeah, you should have. I wish I did.
I
Anywho,
must have blocked it.
what was I saying?
You're talking about how Daniel Bryan wrestled for 10 minutes with a broken arm at
Kisses
Forbidden
a
Door.
goat.
That boy would be crazy.
Yeah, I mean,
10 minutes with a broken
Okada's a big dude. I wouldn't be surprised from that fall that he landed on.
arm. Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, no, I believe it. You don't
And-
need to show me the clip.
then they
I
s-
believe it.
And that's why he did that weird submission with his legs at the end because he couldn't
Yeah.
do the label lock with his arm.
The label lock is different from the like crossface.
Yes.
I didn't notice that until I played the game. The game has 2 different. I'm like, wait a minute, shouldn't this be the same fucking move?
No, because crossface has the arm just comes across and just goes in between your legs. And the
Mhm.
label lock, you put your leg over the arm.
Okay, so slightly different.
Yes. Very slightly.
No Stormbreaker though.
Very slightly.
What the frig?
Very slightly.
Also, the fact that FTR is in the game, and then you have to go and put you have to put him in as a team. They should already be a team. Same with the Hardys. You have to set them up as a team.
That's what they get for being DLC.
Fucking stupid.
DLC
Anyway,
that comes out the same
the
day
game
as
is
the game.
the game is
Makes no
fun.
sense.
It's fun like a Mario Party, but if you ever tried to play Mario Party with just the computers, there'd be no fun whatsoever.
Yep, I agree.
So it's a good game with your friends, but other than that, it's just at face value, it's not that fun.
The real question is this version of the game enough to turn people off or on to if they did a second game? Would people want to, like, would it end up being a success or not?
I don't know. It's confusing because
Would you even want to buy a second game?
It really depends. I feel like they should put way more. Like, the problem is that, like, with the fact that they can fix things, it's great. But nowadays, a lot of games have longevity that you want to kind of wait and let things kind of die down so that way you can keep on using that game and keep adding stuff to it.
Yeah.
And then eventually go, okay, now we're going to put a new one out. Like, I want them to fix the problems now for the first one, but I'm like, also like, or you could just wait and just when the second one comes out, I'll be like, cool, hopefully you fix all the problems again, or fix the problems this time. And
yeah, I hope that it doesn't become a WWE thing where they just come out with a new game every year that's like slightly different with a new roster.
I like the fact that they have the concept of, like, I give them the break of like, okay, this is your first time, I'll let it slide. That it's not like the worst game I've ever played. It's just different. I really was hoping to get a lot of play out of it, and it just feels like the playing that I'm getting out of it is just not fun.
Yeah, I'm wondering. So here's from like a perspective of seeing a lot of people kind of saying the same thing, which seems kind of similar to what you're saying. I feel like we're in they're going to be in a position where when they inevitably, or if they make a second game, which I assume they're going to, it needs to be way better than this game, or the franchise is going to fail. Because I think if the second game is not way better than this game, then they're going to run into, when they go to do a third game, people are not going to buy it because they've already like shelled out for two games that they didn't like and weren't good.
I decided to buy the Elite Edition, so I'm like, I'm going to get everything as it comes out, but also I'm like, I feel like a lot of things could have been done better, and like, again, like I said, it's something that's not that big of a deal because it is their first try at it. And at this point, I was just glad to have them finish it by this point, but it's also like there's some stuff that just should have been done better.
Yeah.
It also doesn't help that the landscape for AEW as far as their wrestlers changes so much. Like, how do you? I think there's no excuse for having the Dark Order in that game. You have literally just John Silver, Anna Jay, and Brody.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that Evil Uno isn't in the game.
Evil Uno, Alex Reynolds, even Stu Grayson.
I could see Stu Grayson because he's back now,
but so then they have like tag teams, and like the tag team they have set for the Dark Order is just Anna Jay and John Silver. And I'm like, what?
That's weird.
You could have had Alex Reynolds in that game and just been like, those are the two guys for the... Not I'm saying Anna Jay can't beat up guys too, because I do like that about the game, where it's just like, it doesn't fucking matter. You just have whoever beat the shit out of whoever. I could have fucking Chris Statlander win the TBS championship and the fucking FTW championship, and it doesn't matter.
On an unrelated but maybe related funny note.
Go on.
I was scrolling through TikTok, and you know how they have like those, I guess you would call them apps or whatever on TikTok, where like it'll randomly generate stuff.
What do you mean?
Like it'll be like, there's like that number game where like it pops up with a number and then you like put it in an order and
go on.
Or like how they have the little things like, oh, what thing am I going to be in it?
Turn left
your
right.
head.
Yeah. Okay, I've seen people do that.
So there was
I'm not
one.
big on the apps, Sonny. I don't do TikTok. Sorry.
I don't do it a lot either. I just so happen to find this one. This guy, there was one that I don't know, somebody made, and it was like you're a WWE superstar, and here's the championship that you're gonna have every that you'll win each year. So it goes through 10 years. So then it'll like be above your head. It'll randomize and then show the title and then list it. And so this guy was doing it. And he was like, okay, let's see what we got. And the first one was like Intercontinental Championship. He was like, okay, that's good. And then it was like U.S. Championship. He was like, all right. And then it was like North American Championship. He was like, okay, still in the mid card. And then it was like NXT Women's Championship. And he was like, what? And then it was like Intercontinental Championship. And he was like, I'm still in the mid-card / women's division sometimes. And so it went through. And like you would always see the tag titles or the world titles like scroll through. But like he went through 10 years and it was always a mid-card title or a women's championship. I think his last year was like the SmackDown Women's Championship. And he's like, what the fuck? And he was so mad at the end of it.
Eventually.
He was so mad at the end of it. It was hilarious.
Eventually he got a main championship, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, AEW.
Forbidden Door.
How do you feel about the blind Terminator? Blind tournament
I think
team?
I think it's a cool concept that feels like they are not putting any thought into.
It's a good foil for MJF and Adam Cole to still stick around.
Yeah, no, I like the idea of them being, but like it was weird because they were like, we're going to announce the blind eliminator tournament, but like they didn't explain what it was, and then they were like, okay, it's let's talk about the blind eliminator tournament, and again, they don't tell you anything. It's just Tony Schiavone in the back. He pulls 2 names out of a thing, and he's just like, oh. And then they just cut away. And I was like, what the fuck was that?
Oh.
What the fuck was that?
It was literally just a foil for MJF.
They didn't, but like that backstage thing, they didn't explain what it was. It did, and I was like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah. And the fact they started off with the 2 of those, I'm like, that just makes it seem like you just did this whole thing just for them.
Yeah. And so then they were like, we're going to pick 2 names out of this tumbler. They're going to be a tag team. We'll announce the rest of the brackets next week. And then they didn't, and we have.
And they didn't.
And then they didn't, and they're like, "Oh,
maybe they did. You just missed it. Maybe you were going. Maybe you were making a Wii.
Did I miss it?
Maybe you were making a Wii. I don't know.
Did I miss it? Because like all of a sudden they were like, next week, blind eliminator tournament bracket match. Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin were selected, and
Fake.
Swerve and Keith Lee were selected.
Interesting.
And I was like, when the fuck did that happen?
It's not really a blind.
I was like, didn't you tell me you were going to tell me what these brackets were?
It's not really a blind eliminator if you set up Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy, who already have been tag teaming for a good couple of days.
What the fuck?
And like I'm like, oh, interesting. Swerve and Keith have to team up again. That's great. By the way, keeping that in the back of your mind, I don't have an issue with it. Now, you said you were tired of it at one point, but the fact that they're not going every week fighting each other makes it a little bit more better, because you know in the back of your mind, like, oh, these 2 hate each other, and we're just going to have them every couple of weeks go. Oh, remember that? Remember that? I do like that, because then I'm like,
okay
I'm interested to reignite this again, because now they have to work together again.
Yeah. It just, like, I was like, why aren't we, I don't know how many teams, like, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, okay, so now I know 3 teams. I have no idea how many teams are in this tournament.
Mm-hmm.
I have no idea who else is in this tournament. I have no idea when these brackets are happening. Like, I just have no information for this thing.
The blind eliminator aspect will have to really sell itself. Otherwise, I'm going to be pissed about this. Like, if somehow the Butcher and the Blade are a tag team in this tournament, I'm like, this is fucking stupid. What's the fucking point?
Yeah.
If you do, like, Max Caster and the Blade, I'd be like, okay, this is weird.
And so
I like it.
So then that's the other really weird thing for me. I get what they're trying to do, but there's also part of me that's like, is it too much? Because they're like, Adam Cole and MJF, they hate each other, and they got to be a tag team. And then at the same time, they're like, Swerve Strickland and Keith Lee hate each other, but they got to be a tag team. I'm like, are we just doing the same bit over and over again in this tournament?
Would you like to see Chris Jericho and Sting in a tag team?
No, but I feel like we're going to see
They'd
that.
have to team up together, and they hate each other.
Like, I'm like, why can't we have like a pairing that doesn't make sense? Because then the only other pairing we know is Orange Cassidy and Darby Allin, who've been tag teaming together for months now. I'm like, where's the randomness of
Boring.
this? There's legitimately no randomness to
I
this.
want chaos.
Chaos.
I need chaos in this. Otherwise, I think it's pointless.
Chaos ensues. Also, too many. I'm gonna sound like an asshole. I like a good tournament. Way too fucking many of them happening at one time.
Yeah.
They have this tag team blind eliminator tournament at the same time that the Owen Hart Cup is happening for men's, and an Owen Hart Cup is happening for the women.
Yeah, but it's also shorter this time.
There's too many tournaments happening at one time.
too many tournaments.
They're just like, we don't know what to do. Here's a tournament.
You ever watch Too Many Cooks?
No.
It's a YouTube video. It's fucking weird, but it's great. It's an Adult Swim thing, so it's fucking strange. Anyway, a lot of people who don't watch Adult Swim love Too Many Cooks.
Okay.
It gets really weird. It's like one of those like intros for like a sitcom in the 80s, but then it eventually or gradually just is too long. Like it's a 8-minute video of like an intro to a sitcom.
Oh.
An 8-minute video just for the intro, and then it just gets weirder and weirder as they introduce people, and then it kind of like becomes very meta and weird, and there's horror elements to it, and it just gets fucking weird. It's a great fucking thing though.
And then there's and then right before this was Double or Nothing, and at Double or Nothing, but right before Double or Nothing, we had the Pillars tournament.
The Pillars.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but that's a small. That was just a.
That was a small thing.
That was an MJF MacGuffin.
I think my problem is that AEW has 3 different tournaments happening all at the same time, and I'm like, this is too much. No. Like if we're gonna do the Owen Hart Cup stuff, then like wait for this tag tournament.
Do you think this fills up all that talent though? Because people are being used in this tournament, right?
It does.
I want to see a really fucking strange combo, like
but
Peter Avalon and Wardlow.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what they should go for. Like right now, it feels super. It feels like they're saying it's a blind eliminator tournament, but it all feels super. Wow, I really.
You spiked that. It's fine.
It feels really overproduced. Like they're like Adam Cole and MJF, and then it's Swerve and Keith Lee, and then it's Darby and Cassidy. Like it's way too. I don't want to say predictable. It's not the right word, but it's like way too like hands in the cookie jar. It doesn't feel random.
I do like the fact the enemies more than friends pisses me off because it's like the comfortableness of Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy makes me mad because I'm like, yeah, we've already seen this. This is boring. But the fact is like, oh, these people have been enemies before and have fought each other, and I like that concept of them having to work together. Will they work together? Who knows? We'll find out.
Yeah. I think it's fine if they just leave it at those two. But I think if we have another pairing that is like a clear, they hate each other and they're being forced together, they're in a rivalry right now pairing, then I'm going to be like, this is way too overproduced.
I just thought of doing a lights out match for Keith Lee and Swerve just to end the thing.
I'd be okay with that.
That'd be awesome. Just straight up hardcore and like him just taking out everyone from the fucking embassy. Maybe not anyway, but I guess someone would have to come help because they were pretty big dudes.
Yeah.
Even for Keith Lee.
The Mogul Embassy?
Yeah. Thank God they were those 2 dummies. So, yeah, we have All In.
I don't even think that one guy had a name.
I don't think he did.
I don't think they ever gave him a name.
Scary lizard type man.
Yeah.
Do we All In or All Out? Which one's first?
All In.
We're going All In and then we're going All Out.
Yes.
Right on. So, I'm guessing CM Punk isn't going to be there. And neither is Jeff Hardy for sure because of his passport situations.
Why wouldn't Punk be there?
Because I assume that the Bucks and...
Oh, I see what you're saying. You lumped him in with... You said Jeff Hardy,
I just thought
and so I lumped him in together.
No, sorry.
That's why I was confused.
Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Kenny Omega and the Bucks are a huge part of All In, and then Punk is a huge part of All Out. Punk has to be. It's in Chicago.
It's a shame that like it would be a shame if they didn't have Hayter come back for All In. I feel like that'd be like a goddamn shame.
That would be cool because she is British.
Have her come back and just win the title. Not even win the title. Just I don't know, beat the fuck out of somebody.
I think we get Ospreay. I think we do Ospreay Omega 3 at All In.
I've taken Omega 3s before. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
They're good for you.
Good.
Omega 3s are pretty awesome. Now, if it never had Ospreay Omega 3s, is that different?
Yeah, it's very different.
Always take your vitamins, kids. You remember who used to always say that?
G.I. Joe?
No.
Oh, okay.
A racist old man who wouldn't get other people over. Hulk Hogan. It's Hulk Hogan. Yeah, because he said the N-word that one time. And he's just a bad dude, I think. Yeah. It got really weird there at the end.
It did.
Did you see the promo for QTV and Johnny TV and
When what's her name was like,
yeah, when she did the say thing
and
she's
Johnny
like,
looked at him.
she's like they do that, and she's like trying to make it like make sense.
Yeah.
She's not bad. Like people give her shit, but she's actually some of the stuff she's done is pretty funny.
And Johnny looked at her like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Stop it. My wife is here.
Yeah, stop it.
Stop it. My wife is
My
here.
wife is here."
Yeah. So what are you thinking for the points they're gonna hit for All In besides Omega Ospreay? Do you think they're gonna do that quickly?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. The history. No. So I think they hit it because you get the trifecta. So
Yeah.
So I was
It culminates at All In, which
Yeah.
is a big one for Ospreay.
well. So it's a big one for Ospreay because he's from
He is?
England.
He's British?
He's British.
Bruv. I didn't even notice that.
And the other reason is because then you get to plaster the fact that it's AEW making history with Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay. Because what'll happen is they'll plaster it all over everywhere. The fact that it's going to be their third match. It's going to be their 1-1 is the rubber match. It's happening now on a third continent.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first match was in Japan, the second match was in the U.S., and the second match was in the U.S. The third match will be in London,
No.
in England. What?
Second match was in Canada.
Okay, Canada. Sorry,
North,
you're right.
The North. It's not North America.
North America.
Well, it's not America though.
It's not America. You're right.
Canada.
You're right.
We can't say North America. It's Canada.
It's
It was in
Canada.
Canada.
No, you're right.
But it's still in different places. I get what
Correct.
you're saying.
It'll be
Sorry, but I was like,
they'll-
wait, no, it was in Canada.
Yeah, they'll basically be the first, as far as I'm aware. They'll be the first people to have a trilogy of matches against each other in three different continents, all in the same year. Because I'm sure there's people who've done it, but not in the same year.
And in the words of Sheamus, straight bangers.
Bangers.
I do love number 2.
Thank God Omega didn't fucking die.
Number 2
Or
was pretty
break his
great.
neck.
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
Jesus Christ.
That's how they brought up the concept of Dana Bryan saying like, yeah, the doctors are great, and
Yeah, he should not have done that.
yeah,
And I don't think he meant to drop him on his head like that. I would hope not.
we'll never know.
That was fucking scary as shit.
I love it though, because then Ospreay in the interview for the media scrum, they're like, "Are you going to be returning for All In?" He's like, "Well, I mean, that's my neck of the woods, so maybe." I'm like, "Come on, dude, you know you're going to be there. Whether
Yeah.
you fight Omega or not, you're going to
Yeah.
be there."
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I think you have like the huge history selling moment if you do that.
You also have.
I think it makes no sense if they don't do that match there.
You also have whatchamacallit. He also said that he loves working with AEW. Again, I've said this to you outside of the podcast, but you can't have him on TV. You can't have him on the mic.
Yeah,
He's gonna slip up and say either cunt, or he's gonna slip up and say fuck.
that's probably why they got Don Callis involved.
Yeah.
Um,
I love him though. He's a great wrestler.
let's see.
I can't use him. I can't use his finisher in fight forever though. So
Another all-in prediction. Young Bucks and Hangman 6-man tag against the Dark Order.
You think?
Although they did just kind of
They
already
just
do
did
that.
that,
They
yeah.
did just do that. Why did they just do that? That could have been built up as something. And now it's just a throwaway.
I mean, maybe they're building up for something else with the Dark Order.
Maybe. What you know what else I would like to see? I would like to see Claudio, the Blackpool Combat Club, Claudio, Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta go for the Trios Championships against House of Black. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be fun because all the mystique and BS they'll do, and then Moxley would be like, "I don't want to hear what you got to say. Let's just fight."
Yeah.
That
Well,
kinda
yeah,
concept would be
it'll
good.
like play into the same sort of deal that they have with like the Elite, with them being like, "Oh, your sports entertainment nonsense" and
yeah.
stuff. It kind of like plays right into that, and I think it's a logical like next place for them to go after the Elite. I don't know if they're going to do it right away because it seems like they're building up Andrade to have, I guess, Roosh and
Yeah, he's
And
kind of. So like
what's
you
his
saw
name?
on Vance, right?
Vance. That's it.
So you saw on, and there's another guy, isn't it? The Destelico or whatever the guy's name is.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They have another person, but like he hasn't involved himself with those guys anymore. The Los Garnables or whatever.
Yeah, but the House of Black keeps attacking him, so I'm like, okay.
He has to find people. To
I'm
help
like, he's
him.
gonna find somebody to help him. So like in my head, I'm like, oh, and then those guys come over and they do a 6-man tag, I guess. Because the only other people I could think of is like if the Lucha Brothers tag teamed with them,
That would be weird.
but that would be weird.
Yeah, they don't really seem. To
It
like
wouldn't
him.
make sense.
Um,
So like in my head, I was like, okay, Roosh and Vance maybe come out and help him?
weird too, because like, it's like, who do you cheer for? Because the House of Black is always going to be cheered.
Right.
That even if they're a heel, like they just straight up attacked the dude for after he gave him respect and they attacked him anyway,
Yeah,
which was weird. But
mad respect.
it seemed like Buddy was trying to be like, I don't know, he was trying to like be like, oh yeah, maybe I'll give you respect, and then Brody King just showed up.
Brody King was like, nah, no respect. Ain't getting no respect.
Did you see the I felt like Andrade did like a Batista thing. We just kept yelling, "I want my mask," instead of "Give me what I want."
Give me what I want.
He's like, "I want my mask. I want my mask.
Give me what I want.
It's like, all right, okay, we heard you. You want your mask. We get it. That's your promo. Got it. You want your mask. Cool. They stole your mask from you, and you want it back. Cool.
Give me what I want.
Give me my mask back. I want my fucking mask. But yeah, I mean, I can't predict. We can't really predict anything for All In yet. I don't feel like they have anything set.
Yeah, I feel like the only shoe-in is that.
Is it going to be FTR versus Adam Cole and MJF, or are they just going to soil that and have some other team?
When?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because, so that's the thing too.
Well, then that goes into like the really weird It also goes into a weird territory that I don't like about professional wrestling, is that somehow two single guys get together and they somehow almost always beat the tag team, which doesn't make a lick of goddamn sense.
Well, they could still do that and then have them lose to FTR, which is fine.
Yeah, but
then-
I'm just saying that. Well, that could work because the blind eliminator tournament is all random pairings.
Yeah.
So that could work.
But
that
then
would work.
also the fact that, like, because, like, you wouldn't want, like, that's what I'm saying. Like I said, for example, I said earlier, Peter Avalon and Wardlow.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's a fun, keeping it, like, kind of fresh and mixing stuff up. But also you go, yeah, I don't want these guys beating FTR, but it's also still, like, a mixing things up there.
Yeah. And I guess because every team is a mixed team, that gives you the opportunity to have anybody win without it seeming like these two guys who were randomly put together are better together as a team than an actual tag team. Because I've always disliked that about pro wrestling, because WWE does it all the time.
Mhm.
These two random guys who don't like each other, we're gonna make them tag team together against an actual tag team,
They don't
and
do
they're
that.
and then those two guys always beat the tag team.
They don't do that. Oh, always be the tag team? Never mind.
Almost
the
always.
rant I was going to go on didn't anything to do with it.
Because like I mean, they did it with what was it, Sean and Cena. They did it with Batista and Cena. They did it with Miz and Cena. They did it with Batista and Ray. Like, I don't know. I'm not a fan. It can happen sometimes, but I'm not a fan of the two guys get randomly thrown together.
You know what's even worse is, I mean, it's not, not in the vein of exactly what you said with the tag team titles, but the women get it even worse. They're just like,
oh yeah,
hey,
absolutely.
you, Liv, you're with Raquel today. And it's just like, wasn't she with someone else a couple like weeks ago? Yeah, just don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
And then they were like, Raquel's with Shotzi. And it's like when Liv came back, they're like, all right, Shotzi, you're out.
You're out.
It's like, what?
And then Shayna Baszler turned on Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, that was weird.
I was like, oh shit.
That was weird. Because I feel like Shayna can wrestle, but I don't feel like Ronda is very good at certain aspects of wrestling.
Yeah. I mean, they both got that MMA background, so I wonder if they could like pull off a really good fight type match.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for the future for All In. This blind elimination tournament will either... I mean, I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that I haven't seen before I started watching AW where they did it once and was like, all right, we're never going to do this again because it was just not selling as well.
CM Punk versus MJF for the World Championship, All Out.
Wait, what? You said MJF
Yeah.
and CM Punk?
World Championship, All Out.
He did say he was going to go for it again, didn't he?
Yeah.
You sounded so upset by that.
No, I only think that that's a possibility because they have because Punk keeps bringing the, like in backstage interviews, he's still like, I got this bag. Nobody's beating me for what's in this bag.
Mm-hmm. It's just Larry. Larry's in the bag.
Larry's dead?
No. He just...
Because that bag doesn't move.
Nah, it's fine.
Because he said it again to...
It's a Build-A-Bear version of him.
On Collision, he said it to Jay White. He was like, oh, you think you're great? You could come up here and fight me for this. Or you could just do what MJF did and buy a replica title off of shopaew.com. And I was like...
That's not a replica title. He made his own
title. I'm like, they're totally trying to...
The Triple B.
I mean, they're really pushing this, like...
The Triple B was a brand new
wants a title shot. Which I think is weird, because when they were like, here's the 6-man tag, I was like, oh, maybe they're going to do a rivalry and they'll do Punk and FTR against the House of Black. But it doesn't seem that way.
Yeah. It feels kind of stupid. Yeah. It's this weird thing of like more and more seeing the way things are going. It's just like, I'm here to help. I'm here to help all the other talent. Also, I should have the title at all times. Let's just give him the title. Fuck it. Tony, put him in a match with MJF so he can get injured again. Fuck it. And then we'll be out for another 6 months.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of my favorite wrestlers, too. I'm talking shit on.
Damn, throwing shade.
I guess what I'm saying is fuck that guy. Anyhow.
Anything else?
No, I think
we covered it all.
Yeah.
I do want to very quickly open Pro Wrestling Sim, and I want to see. I wasn't done buying, like, getting all my wrestlers before I had to log off.
We're gonna end with video games.
Yeah, I just want to see who I bought. So this is just me testing. But
while you excuse me, while you're talking about that, I'm gonna talk about the. I like the fact that it's actually a verified Steam game on here about that.
Yeah,
that makes me want to get it. Actually,
it's like $10, I think.
Ooh.
And it's on sale.
I also like to get a lot of VR games. I got a lot of VR games set up. And it's a summer sale.
VR games, you said?
Yeah, where the fuck is my VR games? Do you play VR?
Do you play VR? I do.
No, you don't play VR. VR plays you. Fucking throws you around and shit. That does not look legit. It's just a picture of something you could make in MS Paint.
Yeah.
It's a blue square. For people who can't see, it's a blue square, and then 3 black dots on each side, and it's like not even the full banner. It's just a little smaller banner.
It's kind of cheap.
So yeah.
But anyway,
what was I gonna say? Videos coming up.
I
have Deceit 2 is in a beta, which is I have to let you know to check that out. I think everyone should check that out. That was so much fucking fun. We just recorded that yesterday. Deceit, if you've never seen my first video on Deceit 1, it's essentially Among Us, but in first person and with scary monsters. But that's funny. I'm also doing the Too Many Games. That'll just be some clips here and there and just kind of an overview of stuff. It'll be short.
Games are too many.
Yeah, you keep getting hung up on that part. I don't know why. Every time I bring it up, you just bring up, well, how many games is too many games?
I just think it's a funny joke.
Have you ever been there?
No.
You probably get some cool shit for Power Rangers there. Some cool stuff.
I'll have to go next time.
Yeah.
As long as it's not when I'm away.
Just go on a Sunday.
On a Sunday?
Yeah. They might have to. They've been getting more and more good guests there.
Mm-hmm. Probably as they're building their name and brand up.
Yeah, they had a wrestler last time.
Oh.
This time. He was signing autographs for free. Have you ever heard of Colt Cabana?
I have.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was there. I didn't see him. But he was there.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. So yeah, the videos are coming out soon, or the Too Many Games, the Deceit. I'm gonna edit that as soon as possible. And there was one more, and I can't think of it. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We hope you enjoyed listening to us again.
Yep.
We're back again.
Yep.
Hopefully we can do this next week as well. Hopefully we don't have neither of us have anything. If we do, deal with it. You'll wait until the next week, okay? You all right? It's not like we're giving you breaking news or whatever.
Why are you yelling?
Because I feel like they're judging me right now.
Okay.
You let me do what I want.
Okay.
Give me what I want. I want my mask back. You know, they can wait. They can wait for next week.
Yeah,
or
they
the
can
next
wait.
week after.
They can wait.
I don't know your life. You don't know mine. We might be busy.
Oh, you're right.
Just deal with it.
Yep.
All right. So, on a lighter note, what do they do?
The needful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. I'm sorry I yelled at you. You made Daddy yell. I'm sorry. I love you. Bye. A Double or Nothing we didn't talk about at all.
No, we didn't.
Let's talk about the most awesome and best part of the night, which was the TBS champion was dethroned finally by one of the greatest female wrestlers, I would say, of all time.
Taya Valkyrie?
No, not Taya Valkyrie, but though she is getting pissed off about the whole situation.